The story begins with the news is being broadcasted on the topic of a tower called Babylon whose 40th floor has an undefeated monster. The news shows us how the Black Dragon Guild sets out to raid the 40th floor, but fails to defeat the boss monster. Then a hunter ranks number 1 after he single-handedly defeated the boss monster. A reporter interviews him and addresses him with the nickname the Flame Emperor, but he seems to hate it and reacts negatively to the nickname. Our main protagonist is jealous of Flame Emperor because he don't have any skills. Online comments drop in as the whole world watches the news and people start saying different things. Some commenters begin to gossip about the Flame Emperor dating another hunter called the Saintess. But a S-rank hunter named Kim keeps commenting the same thing over and over again. I want to become like the Flame Emperor. However, the reporter asks the so-called Flame Hunter to respond to the aspiring hunters. Our poor hero freaks out and gets motivated. He says that in the end, those who are destined to succeed will succeed, and after they succeed, they shouldn't start a beef with him or else they will die. They will die. The words of the Flame Hunter affect Kim and it makes him furious that he starts to cry. Suddenly, the skill card appears before him as a compensation for the envy he has for the Flame Emperor. The skill card contains a skill that is greater than his current S rank. The golden card means that he copies the skill of the enemy that kills him and makes it his. He shouts, "What kind of skill is this?" The tower is seen to have appeared suddenly in their world, and it can be seen from any horizon across the world. Different floors of the tower have different monsters from another world. Those that first entered the tower when it appeared were chosen by the tower, and they gained special skills, but those that heard the rumors later on only entered the tower to hunt down the monster. The words of the Flame Emperor still affect Kim negatively, and he finds himself in a bar. The news of how skillful the Flame Emperor is being broadcasted in the bar. Gongya doesn't feel the vibe, and he asks the bar manager, "Can we watch something else?" Gongya begins to freak out, and he complains about his new skills. He tells the bar manager that he can't even report it to the Hunters Association, because he thinks the skill is crap. The bar manager quickly tells him to vomit outside after he wants to throw up. He leaves the bar shop, and he keeps thinking about everything, until he sees the Flame Emperor and his alleged girlfriend, Miss Saintess, arguing by the corner. So he lures around and he listens. The Flame Emperor claims to have poisoned Miss Saintess after she has initially tried the same on him. The Flame Emperor holds the antidote that can cure her as leverage, so he asks Miss Saintess to confess whoever has sent her to kill him. He asks her if it was the Black Dragon who sent her, but she didn't talk, so he burns her. Kim perceives the fire illumination, and he couldn't help it but goes out of his hideout and shouts, "Murder, psychopath," and he runs away. The Flame Emperor gets hold of him, and because he has seen what he has seen, and the Flame Emperor kills him. Kim then wakes up in a strange realm, and he sees a command that asks him to select a skill card. Then the skill card mysteriously copies out to the Flame Emperor's skill. However, he wakes up in his room as the news of another Black Dragon Guild's failure casts. He wonders how he gets to his room after Yusou the Flame Emperor killed him. He checks the skill card details, and he discovers he has been sent to 24 years before his death. However, he figures out he has copied that skill from the Flame Emperor. Kim then realizes that the Flame Emperor must have died due to the poison, but he came back 24 years prior, and that was how he knew what Miss Saintess' moves were. He then hears a fire outbreak outside. He goes outside and he sees that people are gathered. Different guild members come to the scene waiting for the Flame Emperor. They try to quench the fire with water, but all is in vain. Kim knows the Flame Emperor actually set the fire in order to cover his tracks. The Flame Emperor then arrives, and he begins to praise himself. He asks for what rewards they will give him if he stops the fire. Gets tired of all the Flame Emperor's bad attitudes, and he decides to kill him. He enters the fire to buy himself another 24 hours back in time. He enters the fire to buy himself another 24 hours back in time.
When he returns, he finally understands that no matter how much he tries to kill the Flame Emperor, the Flame Emperor will still return to 24 hours before 2 since they both have the same skill. He then figures out that the Flame Emperor's first awakening was 11 years ago, June 7th. Which means his permanent death can only be met 4,045 days ago. So he decides to kill himself 4,045 times. He keeps stabbing himself and keeps waking a day backwards. Chapter 4 Gong Jia finally gets to the present day that the legend of the Flame Emperor begins and he moves out to kill him. He first observes all Flame Emperor movements by dying 10 more times. Each time he dies, he uses the opportunity to study the Flame Emperor's whole lifestyle. Having known his daily movement and routines, he starts to execute his mission. He times him throughout and he finally gets to him on the 6th floor. He disguises as someone in need of urgent help as he comes out of nowhere saying he got attacked by wolves. Gong Jia offers him 20 gold to buy his portion, but the Flame Emperor complains of his ruined hunt, yet he wants to buy his portion for that cheap price. However, out of Yu Suha's greediness, he extorts Gong Jia and he collects all the money he has, without giving him the portion.
He even turns back and decides to kill Gong Jia since he knows for himself that he has wronged him. As Yu Suha tries to kill Gong Jia, what he never expected was a comeback from him.
Well, Gong Jia rises all of a sudden and stabs him. Yu Suha dies with a shock and in the end, Gong Jia feeds him to the wolves. He changes his cloth from the blood-soaked one to a new one he has hidden in the ground and he leaves to transfer to Floor 1 city. He comes across a vigilante corps who seems to be unaware of anything and the news also says nothing of Yu Suha, then he drinks beer recklessly. He is very happy that the terrible legend of the Flame Emperor is no more as he flaunts his new skills and credits. Suddenly an old man walks in, requesting vodka and sugar in warm milk. Gong Jia looks at the old man suspiciously.